After Hell's catastrophic invasion of Earth, the United States took steps to prevent such an invasion from reoccurring. The UAC was disbanded and refounded under completely new leadership in order to create a quantum accelerator that can close interdimensional gates at a distance to prevent further demonic invasions. The gate was constructed successfully, and it successfully shut down an invasion before it could start. On the next day, a ring of 7 gates opens and an even greater invasion begins. For 1 hour, the quantum accelerators managed to close 6 of the gates, but the hellish army has become too numerous and too strong. The complex is overrun. Everyone is slain or zombified. The last gate of hell remains open, manned and guarded by a demon gatekeeper. The government, frantic that the quantum accelerator will be destroyed or used in some evil alien fashion against humanity, orders all Marines to the site at once. The Doom Guy is close to the site and gets there first. There he concludes that by the time reinforcements arrive, that the demons will be too numerous and powerful. The Marine decides to enter the complex and stop the gatekeeper alone. Map 1. Congo. To enter the main complex, Doomguy must first go through the military base which is part of it. There are still puddles of mud water from the hard rain. So yeah, my theory as to why there's so much brown water and why some of it hurts the players because there's constant acid rain throughout all the earth levels. But because this is Doom, rain couldn't really be rendered back then, so we have to use our imagination. The military base is built inside the mountain and uses camo and overgrown vines to remain hidden. The demons have become strong enough to break through the mountain to ambush Doomguy. Here is a storage area full of boxes. Even the inside walls of the base are full of vines. Explosive munitions were kept safely behind these walls until the demons turned this area into a death trap full of revenants. This crossing connects the charging pod room for armor with the room that safeguards the key to the quantum accelerator. While trying to reach the key room, a revenant flies out of the muddy gutter by using his jetpack and blocks Doomguy's way. This small courtyard was probably used to group up the soldiers of the base to teach them how to travel through such quantum accelerators. Doomguy powers on the network of accelerators and goes through the first one. In order to stop the invasion, he has to power down each accelerator from the other end, which explains why he has to go through each one. That being said, he's also looking for the specific accelerator prototype that caused this whole invasion. Map 2. Well of Souls. After the demons overran the complex, their essence seems to have scrambled the network, sending Doomguy to a random particle accelerator each time he teleports. Some of them were moved by the demons specifically to teleport Doomguy into demonic death traps. This time he's sent just outside the military base on top of a natural water dam. Misbehaving soldiers and captured criminals were once kept in confinement here. It has been converted into another trap by the demons. To return to the other side where the base is, Doomguy shoots the button of this control panel to activate the invisible energy bridge that connects the two sides. Upon reaching the other side, Doomguy uses the elevator to take him to the next quantum accelerator. Judging from the room decorations, the demons were using this one for their own means. Thinking that he's on the right track, Doomguy steps into the accelerator. Map 3. Aztec. He's teleported back into the facility to a different area. As he walks through the muddy flood, the weak floor collapses underneath him and he falls into a room where some of the military base's support beams were placed. Eventually he comes across a red keycard that was washed away by the muddy water. Here's another room with support beams. Some sort of teleportation experiment went wrong here. The magma here suggests that the whole complex stretches all the way down to Earth's core. Here's another example of an invisible energy bridge that has been imbued with demonic torch technology. The demons even used this to keep the blue key suspended away from Doomguy's reach. Overall, this room and the previous room were part of the wastewater disposal of the base before being morphed beyond recognition by the demons. After the treacherous bridge segment, Doomguy finally makes it out of the area through the use of the accelerator. Map 4. Caged. He ends up trapped inside the complex's filtration plant, between the walls of the giant machine responsible for filtering all the toxic rainwater. The demons have seized the area's operation and turned it into a place of fortifications. Now look at this. Gotta love the immersion breaking arrows that tell you where the fuck to go because the map designer could not think of a better way to do it. I am looking at you too, Sandy! Anyways, after going a bit more forward, a group of chain gunner holograms are deployed that Doomguy cannot harm. But Doomguy does not even flinch from the demon's prank. This is why later the holograms are replaced by actual chain gunners who end up dying just like every other monster that crosses our hero. This switch opens a maintenance hatch of the machine where the filtration room keycard ended up. This is whatever's left from the filtration room. Maybe there was a smaller machine here that maintained the water filters. This is the lower maintenance room of the primary machine. Eventually, Doomguy opens the maintenance hatch for the remaining escape pod, but instead of being an ordinary pod, it was converted to house demonic teleporters. One of them sends the user to the filtration room, while the other sends Doomguy to the cage that kept the next particle accelerator away from him. By powering it up, he is sent to the next area. Map 5. Ghost Town. He finally reaches the main administration area of the complex where the fresh corpses of marines are still laying in the way. By the way, side note, my explanation as to why the blue water under this bridge hurts Doomguy if he falls in it is because he simply drowns in it, due to it being too deep for his armor to handle. Id Software never mentioned anything about his armor being 100% waterproof. By moving forward, Doomguy reaches the main outside area of the complex. It even has this neat little fountain. By approaching the facility's supercomputer terminal, it is revealed to him through an ambush of chain gunners that the Spider Mastermind was controlling the whole area this entire time by having itself plugged into it. It also defends the blue key. After dealing with the ambush, Doomguy investigates the supercomputer's components only to find out that the demons made an entire gore nest in it. For reference, imagine finding an entire family of cockroaches in your gaming PC. By looking through the mass amount of flesh, Doomguy finds a way to access the supercomputer's particle accelerator, which still remained functional despite how much the demons mangled the facility's mainframe with their love for flesh. Map 6. Baron's Lair. Upon being teleported to the facility's hangar where the faulty particle accelerator prototype was supposed to be, Doomguy discovers that it was moved away by the demons. A dormant demonic artifact floats above the place where the accelerator once was. Hoping to find it nearby, Doomguy begins searching the warehouse's other rooms. Aircrafts or other smaller vehicles were probably stored into this room before it eventually collapsed by the invasion. For whatever reason, the UAC store toxic waste barrels in the same hangar where they keep their accelerator prototype. Perhaps toxic waste is recycled to power up said accelerators. By pressing this switch, Doomguy blows up a hole on the wall of the hangar, revealing a small mountain colony built to house UAC personnel. The people from the inside probably planted a satchel charge to make an escape route, but it was already too late for them. By pressing the two switches, the hangar's cargo door opens, which leads to an open area where smaller storage units exist. Doomguy finds another accelerator, but it is not the prototype. He opens the doors from one of the sides, only to reveal an ambush of revenants. After dealing with them, he opens the doors from the other side, revealing the Guardian who was assigned by Hell to stop anyone from accessing the facility's last remaining accelerator. After gloating over the steaming carcass of the Guardian like an absolute nutcase, Doomguy steps into the accelerator while ignoring the tortured corpses pinned to the walls. Map 7. Caughtyard. The accelerator drops him off into another ambush. The demons strategically took over a smaller fort separate from the base and waited for Doomguy to eventually arrive there so they could kill him. The fort was specifically built on top of a lake to stop non-flying demons from getting into it in case of a demonic outbreak. Of course, that did not matter in the end, since all the demons came through the facility's accelerator. After clearing out the demonic threat, Doomguy enters the secret underground hideout near the base and locates the area's secondary particle accelerator. Map 8. Realm. He is teleported right outside the facility in charge of the complex's freshwater supply. Upon his arrival, the demons drain some of the water through these grates to let him in. Upon entering, he is met with the hanging corpses of the base commander and the lead UAC particle accelerator scientist. Their dripping blood is constantly washed away by the water drain below them. Unfazed, Doomguy marches on. He tries to use the facility's dual elevators, but as soon as they arrive, the two Bruiser Bros step out to crush him. After dealing with them, Doomguy reaches the facility's top floor. The entire room has been converted into a well of souls. This accelerator's warping destination must be special, since it is the centerpiece of the well. To raise the blue banners that prevent him from accessing the accelerator, Doomguy trudges through the water basin to power up the backup generator, which gives him access to the facility's flow control. Upon stopping the flow of water, he is ambushed by revenants. By punching through this wall, he finds the facility's secret stash of rockets, for emergency. Down these stairs, he finds an elevator leading to the facility's lower floor, where the demons have set up a trap to protect the blue skull that teleports a bunch of chain gunners. This floor has definitely seen better days. It is now flooded with muddy rainwater which has toxic waste barrels floating at the top. By hitting this switch, Doomguy takes the backup elevator back to the upper floor. Despite raising the banners by using the blue skull key, Doomguy also needs to deal with yet another ambush before he can use the accelerator. After dealing with all that, the accelerator finally yields to him as if one of the well's souls gave it its own conscience by possessing it. Map 9. Abattoire. Turns out that the souls from the Well of Souls end up in a demonic cathedral on Earth. Going down the wooden room where the sacrificial portal lies, he ends up inside the altar room where the demons use these crushers to crush humans into edible paste to fuel their rituals with. The puddle in the middle of the room indicates decay. More hanging bodies of important personnel are having their blood drained here. After taking the blue key, wouldn't the skull fit more with the map's theme? He goes along this huge pit that the demons built to discard any unwanted remains. Through this door, he discovers a room with gallows placed in the middle. Why would the demons need such device? To extract tormented souls from their prey, of course. After acquiring the key in the basket, he moves into the room where the red key is kept. Upon grabbing it, chain gunners break through the walls to stop him. After making it through the barricade, he is sent into a room of demons that guard the cathedral's underground accelerator room. Doomguy gains access to the accelerator after fighting an additional ambush of Mancubi. Map 10. Onslaught. He is warped outside the courtyard of a mountain base outpost. Upon grabbing the blue skull, the nearby lockers open to reveal a chain gunner ambush. Now it's a skull? Why aren't keys consistent in this megawad? With the key now at hand, he lowers the bollards and gains access to the outpost. Another ambush happens in this area. The fiery background behind them is probably supposed to represent some sort of gateway portal. This instant elevator takes the user down to the outpost's sewer system, which has already been repurposed by the demons. Doomguy eventually arrives to the facility's communications room. As per usual, he receives no signal from other outposts around the complex. Inside the main building, he finds the red keycard, but to open the accelerator room, he needs to use the secret switch outside. Seems like someone before him already tried that, but was butchered into bits in the process. Going back to the gazebo and into the main building again, he finds the accelerator in the outside yard while fighting off yet another ambush. Despite momentarily sensing a bad omen coming through the particles of the accelerator, Doomguy steps into it. Map 11. Hunted. He finds himself in a closed-off room with pikes and coffins. The wall to his left is lifted to reveal the guardians of this place. By stepping outside, the Archviles teleport away and their vile game begins. This was once probably a complex underground ossuary that was unearthed by the demons and repurposed as a labyrinth. After finding the keys to the gates, Doomguy uses a teleporter which brings him on top of a hill. By searching the area, he also finds the BFG. After so much searching, he finally finds the prototype. Well, one of these accelerators is the prototype, the other one is a demonic trap. With the use of intuition, Doomguy guesses the correct prototype and shuts it down from the other end. Only to realize moments later that he is now stranded in hell. Map 12. Speed. Now stuck in the middle of a small hell valley, Doomguy proceeds into a nearby building. The building appears to be a cathedral made of wood. Its floor is flooded by the blood from the blood river it was built on. While running along the confusing architecture, Doomguy is ambushed by revenants and chain gunners. This clip pretty much sums up how it feels to normally play this megawad. After getting his hands on the blue skull, he is teleported by the Archvile priests into the resting area. After dealing with them, Doomguy uses his newly acquired high ground to rain rockets down on the Cyberdemon below. With the Cyberdemon dead, he gets access to the Red Skull. He eventually finds a canyon inside the cathedral that houses one of the remaining working particle accelerators. To access it, he needs to press the buttons that control the bridges. After cutting the demon's ritualistic swimming sessions short, he steps into the accelerator, unsure where he may end up. Map 13, the Crypt. He is sent to a different demon temple. To open the door, or rather to make it disappear, these two artifacts need to be pressed. Now, inside the worshipping area, he gets ambushed by Mancubi as soon as he picks up the yellow idol. Going through the yellow door, he discovers the temple's outside fortifications. Going down the pentagram elevator, he comes across a pipe that the demon specifically put up to divert blood here from the nearby blood spa. Going up the stairs, he finds said spa. Annoyed, the monsters rise from the blood to confront him. By pressing this switch here and going down the aforementioned pipe, he gains access to the teleporter with the single zombie man guarding the blue skull. By accessing the engine switch inside this toxic waste room, he gains access to the temple's hallway, which leads to the main courtyard. After dealing with every demon at the courtyard, Doomguy lowers the magical water barricade that once engulfed this particle accelerator and steps into it. Map 14. Genesis. He ends up inside a toxic refinery that was converted by the demons into a blood refinery that adds toxic waste into the blood as a preservative. Funnily enough, the toxic warning signs are still here. Even this place has its own fortifications that our hero needs to go through. After taking this invisibility sphere, this whole shutter goes down, but the monsters don't see him because he's invisible, albeit partially. By pressing this switch and falling into this portal, he gains access to this crossroad where the demons keep the yellow skull. Through the yellow door, he finds the toxic waste barrel storage room of this facility. After dealing with the facility's revenant hallway, he accesses the next area through the accelerator. Map 15, the Twilight. He's once again trapped inside a giant water filtration machine similar to the one from Map 4. This one has been modified to purify blood to make it suitable for rituals. Accessing this panel causes a revenant to fly right on top of it alongside another chain gunner ambush. Looking around from this yellow skull altar, Doomguy finds that the ground below does not seem to continue. Perhaps this fortress is located on one of Hell's many floating islands. By hitting this switch, he opens up the area where the facility's particle accelerator is. He is greeted by the return of the Spider Mastermind and its platoon of chain gunners. After dealing with the Mastermind, the machine behind him strangely powers on, filtrating any demonic remains that fell inside the blood. Doomguy finds a chute inside the machine that leads to the facility's accelerator, but before going down to it, he finds a motorized door that opens into a teleporter that brings him into a different accelerator that these chain gunners used to get into position. Doomguy decides to take this one instead of the one he saw before. Map 31, Cyberden. He opens his eyes up to a sky enveloped in a fleshy canopy. Until now, he has never been to an environment as demonic as this. Around him are 4 deactivated cyber demons in cages awaiting to be deployed. Going past these two archviles and hitting the switch sets the facility on high alert as seen by all these Hell Knights. It also activates and deploys the first Cyberdemon. Past each Cyberdemon, there is a switch that opens up the facility while also adding more stairs to the pillar where the yellow key is. This previously blocked area holds the controls for the second Cyberdemon enclosure. Here's the switch past the second Cyberdemon accompanied by a dual Baron trap. The switch unlocks this area, where the controls for the third Cyberdemon's enclosure are, alongside another BFG. Beyond the third Cyberdemon, there is a room full of blood, with 3 Mancubi defending the switch. The switch opens this room, which has the enclosure controls for the last Cyberdemon. Past the last Cyberdemon, Doomguy gains access to the Cyberdemon assembly room. After hitting the final switch, the pillar stairs have completed a staircase allowing him to grab the yellow key. Upon trying to leave, he steps on a dummy teleporter that activates a platoon of revenants against him. After fighting tooth and nail, he finds the facility's accelerator and escapes. Map 32. Go to it. He finds himself in a familiar place. It seems to be the starport he used to get back to Earth previously. But something is wrong. The materials are more primitive than before and it is a lot more open. The layout in some parts is very similar to how it was previously, but also very different at the same time. The water puddle here indicates water damage. The starport's courtyard was inaccessible before. It connects to a cave which leads to the outside area. The fleshy canopy persists even here, meaning that the entire starport was taken over by hell so much that it got lifted off of the face of the earth and brought all the way here at the Devil Hive. Trying to take this keycard causes extra reinforcements to appear on the hill. The large amount of demons on this map leads me to conclude that the demons have repurposed this place as breeding grounds. This hidden door still works. This lift now takes him to a previously inaccessible room that serves as an observatory of the outside. The more Doomguy progresses, the more demons puncture holes into the facility to try and stop him. The exit elevator has been disabled and repurposed into yet another demonic trap. Beyond this Cyberdemon, there's another Cyberdemon. Behind the blue door is yet another Cyberdemon. Beyond this army of demons are the 3 doors that kept the facility's particle accelerator away from Doomguy. The fact that one of them was installed into this facility as well explains how the demons managed to recapture this place. That also means that there are probably other places on Earth that were captured and moved into the Devil Hive the exact same way. Map 16. The Omen. He's teleported outside the Devil Hive on top of a hill in Hell. The abundance of toxic waste here suggests that this area is used as a storage area for it, like how a dam stores water. This platform that keeps lowering and rising by itself is the dam's door that is supposed to control the dam's flow, but it seems to be malfunctioning. After taking the yellow skull, 2 archviles rise from the toxic waste they were swimming under. This is the overall outside area of the dam. The demons have temporarily turned the facility's turbine room into a place of ambush. By using the turbines to reach a secret teleporter, Doomguy is teleported underneath the facility where the accelerator is. Map 17. Compound. He's teleported in a pit flooded with toxic waste. Messing with the control valve causes the waste levels to rise, helping him reach the rest of the facility. It seems that this facility is responsible for controlling the flow of the toxic waste received from the previously visited toxic waste dam. Because of the dam's aforementioned door malfunction, this facility is currently experiencing an overflow of toxic waste that the demons can't contain. This is why most of the facility appears to be flooded. More of the damage can be seen here. These rings resemble the remains of a device that opens gateways to other realms. The demons have repurposed the rings as a place to keep the yellow skull key. This higher part of the facility has not been affected by the flood. Even at a time of crisis like this, the demons can't help but enjoy some time in the blood spa. After pushing some buttons here and there, Doomguy finds the next accelerator. Map 18, Neurosphere. He's taken to a familiar suburban area that he visited in one of his past adventures. The entire location has also been transported to Hell and had its unique water system flooded by blood. This house is now used as a small demon shrine. This house is used as a fortification to defend the Red Skull Key. Beyond this bridge is the suburb's local police station. Due to a lack of entrance doors, Doomguy is forced to enter via the station's garage. Through this teleporter, our hero is taken to the maintenance area of the blood system. This button lowers the gates, which in turn provide Doomguy with an exit accelerator. Map 19. Enemy! Doomguy is overcome with yet another feeling of familiarity as he steps out of the accelerator that brought him here. This looks like the first section of the demon's base that was lost in Hell so much time ago. While he was gone, the demons had enough time to refurbish and repopulate this place as well. Through this teleporter, he's taken to a previously inaccessible outside area of the base that has been heavily modified by the demons to look like it belongs to a castle. After this ambush of imps is a room with a blood well with a drain in the middle. Approaching it causes a revenant in an archvile to rise from it. The archvile possesses the yellow skull. Here's another room that was built specifically to be a deadly trap. And another one. Pressing this switch in this room reveals this cyber demon that was previously hidden behind the Icon of Sin stone tablet. After walking across another bridge, Doomguy finds the room where the demons keep another one of those particle accelerators. Map 20, the Death Domain. He finds himself in a large courtyard of what appears to have once been a military base on Earth, now taken over by Hell's forces. This staircase leads to the sewers of the base. This button opens up the base's hidden library of demonic literature and sinful records. For some reason, it leads to another trap room that is somehow connected with the sewers. Even weirder, this staircase leads to the large lounging area of the base. Moving past that area, there is this small post where two Baron brothers guard two soul-powered switches. After dealing with them, Doomguy is able to lower this barricade and vault into this small pool of sewage that has the blue key. I interpret the teleportation that is happening here as Doomguy diving deep into the sewage and swimming until he comes out the other pool, only to do that again to find a way out of the pool, which after some time makes him end up here. The pools are probably there due to the flood damage from the unmaintained sewers. Through the blue door, he comes across the area that houses a strange demonic contraption. I believe this was the demons' attempt to recreate the particle accelerators through their own technology. Due to it being an unsuccessful attempt, the demons still keep one of the remaining accelerators around, which Doomguy takes for himself. Map 21. Doomguy stands on top of a tall pillar. He's once again back inside the Devil Hive. Not only that, he's also back to another previously visited location, the Starport's base of command that was once used by the demons to hold humanity hostage. The demons seem to have taken it entirely for themselves and turned it into a fortification for their hive. These large empty rooms do not seem to serve any other function other than to store the buttons that give access to the facility's accelerator. The demons seem to have used the remaining rubble to build makeshift elevators. By pushing this red button, Doomguy finally gets access to the accelerator. Before he can step in it though, a Baron somehow crawls out of the ground to try and stop him. Of course, one single Baron ain't gonna cut it though. Doomguy moves on. Map 22, Impossible Mission. This place seems to resemble your standard episode 1 Phobos base, but with larger outside areas. Here's where it gets interesting though. These hallways have tissues of meat and flesh growing on them. Perhaps the demons are trying to turn the entire facility into a living organism to either control it better or to turn it into their nest. By falling through here, you may notice that the green liquid does not hurt the Doomguy. That means it cannot be toxic waste. So, what is it then? Well, what if I told you that this place was once used to filter, recycle and provide clean water for the people living on Phobos? Since the demons do not maintain structures for their original purpose unless they were already built for offense and defense in the first place, the filtration system has gone bad, turning the water into this aged green color. While unsafe to drink, at least it does not melt Doomguy's skin. These are the facility's foundations flooded by water damage. An emergency hatch leads to this switch. The facility's state of disrepair can be seen in this clip. Doomguy takes one step and then the whole bridge collapses. This forces him to take these stairs to the button that resets the bridge's mechanical components, causing it to reconstruct itself. As soon as Doomguy steps into this teleporter, a horde of elite demons somehow manage to crawl through the hardened floor of the facility to try and stop him from getting the keycard. This barrel-shaped thing was once probably a water turbine or one of the machines that filtered the water. It has a button that raises this shitty door. It is honestly pathetic that something like this can stop Doomguy. This area with magma and the rocky walls that surround the base make me think that the demons placed this base inside an inactive volcano. With the aforementioned door gone, Doomguy pauses to reflect on his journey while gazing upon this hellish vista. He then enters the accelerator. Map 23, Tombstone. At first glance, this appears to be some kind of demonic castle. Look at how blood floats on the ceiling. Through this door, he finds these strange objects that seem to resemble turbines. Upon his arrival, some revenants fly on top of the turbines to try and stop him. This room is probably some kind of demon shrine. At some point, Doomguy notices this strange red energy flowing through some of the walls. By looking outside the window, he realizes that he is currently on a demonic airship that resembles a flying fortress. The reason why there are gallons of blood pretty much everywhere on the ship is because they use it to produce power. This outside area is where most of the blood is stored as fuel. The role of this room is probably to funnel the blood from the previous room into the engine room that turns blood into energy. This is the in-between room where the blood is stationed before it is allowed to get into the engine room to ensure a stable flow in order to prevent flooding of the ship. After pressing some more buttons, Doomguy finds the airship's accelerator. Map 24, The Final Frontier. Upon his arrival, he is hit with another flashback from his past. This place was previously the last frontier standing between him and the Icon of Sin. He shortly realizes that what was actually hitting him were the two archviles inside the cages that are held to the ceiling by chains that cannot be rendered due to there not being chain textures like this one in the Doom game files. He swiftly climbs up the piers and lands into a teleporter that takes him in front of these chain gunners. After going past them, he finds a familiar rock formation. The second button makes another archvile appear, while the first one makes a bridge slowly rise from the blood below. After a few steps ahead, he finds himself in front of an immense chasm. Upon his arrival, two chain gunners climb up from the chasm and a cyberdemon smashes the wall in front of him to ambush him. One of the accelerators lies in the middle of the chasm. This button somehow raises the ledges, allowing Doomguy to proceed further. I think these red textures are supposed to represent some sort of interdimensional gate that only the demons can use to get into position. By taking this blue key card, Doomguy gets access to the teleporter leading to the Cyberdemon's gate room. By using the same teleporter again, he is brought to the accelerator he saw before. Map 25, The Temple of Darkness. It stinks like fresh meat and the walls are made of meat. He must be inside a giant living organism. If we are to look at the map of this level, it sort of resembles a stomach and a liver. I think that the magma floor texture here is supposed to represent a network of veins. Despite being inside a living entity, the demon somehow managed to build structures here. After some walking, he comes across the small temple that houses the hole that leads down to the deepest part of the Devil Hive. This switch opens its doors. Upon falling into the hole, he ends up in another temple that was made specifically to be the last demonic outpost guarding the deepest part of the hive. After fighting off his adversaries, he powers up the portal and ends up at the deepest level of the hive. Upon further exploration, Doomguy discovers that he is once again encased between red fleshy walls. The demons have managed to build a small pier here to station this boat which floats on top of boiling demon blood. After stepping inside the boat to pick up the key he needs, the abomination who he is inside of senses him and moves its fleshy bits enough to reveal yet another guard post previously hidden within its flesh. The chain gunners guarding this key have been placed behind the bars by the entity, as evidenced by the fleshy walls behind them. Doomguy returns to a previous room to use the key he got to gain access to the red key. Upon grabbing it, he springs a trap, causing some of the floor in front of him to collapse. With the use of the red key, he powers up the accelerator and warps out of there, still shaken from what he has seen here. Map 26, Bunker. Whatever that last place was, it was definitely not the source of the invasion. Wanting to find answers and shut down the remaining accelerators, Doomguy presses on inside this cave where the demons have taken refuge in a bunker. There's a water stream surrounding their entire base. This elevator brings Doomguy to the other side of the base. Here are the bunker's foundations. Over yonder is the room where they store some toxic waste. These rooms are probably used to store troops and machinery taken from other bases. Meanwhile, this area is used to store ammunition and toxic waste barrels. Some demons had a tiny snack here, but forgot to clean up the floor after themselves. This section has yet another gateway similar to the one seen on map 24. The texture of the walls here make it probable that this section was taken from one of the base's own demos. Going further, the base's accelerator can be seen on the other side. These wooden beams suggest that this cave might have once been a mineshaft on Earth. That would explain the crushers and toxic waste storage. Perhaps the whole structure existed here before and was used as a mineral processing plant, using toxic waste as a power source. These arachnotrons are trapped in this cage to get their software upgraded. After pressing these buttons, Doomguy makes it across to the other side and uses the accelerator. Map 27, Antichrist. Doomguy finds himself back inside the terrestrial hollow mountain he was in not too long ago, but in a different area. All these demons in cages suggest that the entire premise of this section is to be used as a fortification, which is not surprising. Picking up the yellow skull key causes an earthquake. Wouldn't it be a hive quake in this case if we're still in the devil hive? Which in turn causes these hellgates at this part of the cave to collapse, revealing more demons. As Doomguy advances, more and more of the cave collapses from the earthquake, revealing even more demons. This random area here and this one with the pillars suggests that there was probably a building here once. Perhaps this entire area was once a great mining complex that became so destroyed that its rubble is barely recognizable as that of a structure. Running along this precipice, Doomguy comes face to face with the spider mastermind in charge of controlling whatever remained of the complex that once existed here. That includes keeping Doomguy away from the accelerator. Map 28, the sewers. After dealing with the spider mastermind and taking the accelerator, Doomguy is overcome with a terrible stench. He appears to be in a sewage processing station connected to a sewer complex of a big city. Somehow all of this was taken from Earth and brought down here inside the hive. In this small room there is a rocket launcher that was washed away by the sewage. Down here there is a room that the demons remodeled into a demonic library. I guess they don't mind the stench while they read. Wait, can they even read? Turns out the library also hides one of the keys of the station. This area is used to store this toxic green liquid. It is either used to power up this facility or to filter the sewage. These buttons open the station's main processing areas where workers would take the green liquid and dump it here. This was once probably the office of the station's IT monkey. Due to the lack of stairs, the workers used this man-made teleporter to get back up. Works better than an elevator. This area was probably some sort of dam used to control the flow of sewage coming from the rest of the complex. Pressing this button disengages the sewer locks. This is the workers' locker and medbay area where they can get dressed up for the job and get first aid treatment in case they get hurt. Up ahead there's just more sewage sections. The sewers continue until Doomguy comes into this room where he sees what the demons did to all the poor staff of this place. Now even madder than before, Doomguy presses the door release button and bolts out of there. This pillar in the middle of this giant room is either an energy generator or the machine that is supposed to control the flow of sewage across the entire facility. Beyond it there is the accelerator that leads to the surface, seemingly untouched by the demons. Map 29, Odyssey of Noises. Doomguy finds himself inside the man-made building above the sewers of where he was. He looks outside the window and realizes in absolute horror what the demons have done. Those bastards have completely taken over his hometown and brought it into the hive. Homer's Odyssey is about the adventures Odysseus goes through to get back home after the end of the Trojan War. The demons seem to have twisted this idea by instead bringing Doomguy's hometown to him after all this adventure to welcome him home, to his eternal torment. As he goes around town, Doomguy can still hear the familiar noises of the city's landscape. They are most probably in his head though, and the actual noises are the demonic screeches from the countless hordes of demons populating this place. Alright, and now I'm going to interpret every single building on this map. Starting off with the building Doomguy starts in, it seems to be a small natatorium based on this blood swimming pool. Either that or it is the surface building of the sewage processing center below. This looks like it was once a small theater. The seats and curtains are gone and what remains on the stage is an ambush of chain gunners. This building was a small military outpost that is still used by the demons. Some of the residential buildings here have been partially destroyed. Some of them still have accessible rooftops. This building here is a simple guard post. This used to be the mayor's office. It overlooks the prison complex across the Blood River. Since the bridge to the prison complex has been destroyed, Doomguy is forced to walk and climb through the rubble of destroyed buildings to reach the entrance. Only the prison's main lobby remains accessible. This building has been repurposed to house the gates that those previously seen chain gunners took to ambush Doomguy. Doomguy in the meantime jumps from building to get the yellow skull key. This was once probably the town's grand hotel. A small part of the main lobby remains accessible and the elevator button no longer calls the elevator. These two buildings once belonged to the city's fire department. This part is whatever's left of the town's university. The surrounding area has been completely closed off by the demons, making this road lead to nowhere. Doomguy jumps across even more buildings to reach the town's police station. After a lot of searching, Doomguy gains access to the interior of this building, whose original purpose is impossible to interpret due to the literal hell that broke out inside of it. Speaking of hell, Doomguy finds a strange technological portal instead of a particle accelerator. The ground behind him collapses as he dashes into it. Map 30, the Gateway of Hell. The strange portal warps him to the location of another accelerator. This building is the last outpost guarding the Gateway of Hell, located somewhere even deeper than the previously thought deepest part of the hive. It's almost as if this map takes place in its own realm, only being accessible by that portal we saw earlier. After fighting the two barons, Doomguy steps into the flesh portal and ends up near the source of the gateway, where two archviles try to stop him. As he approaches this hill, the ground begins to shake violently, demolishing the cliff in front of him. In doing so, the monstrosity behind the invasion is finally revealed: the Gatekeeper. During the fight, more accelerators can be seen being used by the demons. After dealing with the cyber demon standing in front of the gatekeeper's face, Doomguy uses this conveniently misplaced decommissioned crusher to bring himself closer to the monster's face. With 2 well-aimed rockets, Doomguy blasts the gatekeeper's face to bits. With the death of the gatekeeper, an inverted gate is formed from his face, which sucks up the remaining accelerators and demons before disappearing. The visage of the Devil Hive slowly fades from Doomguy's eyes, eventually getting replaced by the place where Doomguy started this adventure. He has once again won against Hell and made it back to Earth in one piece. And there you have it! The interpretation of the second half of Final Doom has finally concluded. I hope you and the rest of the Doom community enjoyed my explanatory storytelling of this megawad. If you did, please leave a like, because it lets me know that these sort of videos are what you like watching. As for Plutonia itself, I'll be honest, it is not my cup of tea gameplay wise, and honestly, the first few levels on Earth look either bland or extremely ugly to me. No shade to the map developers though, you guys clearly worked hard and your passion shines through even the drabbest wall texture. If you're interested in the other half of Final Doom, that being TNT Evolution, I already have a video interpreting it. If you are also interested in Doom 1's final episode, Life Flesh Consumed, I already have a video interpreting that as well. With that said, thank you so much for watching and I hope you tune in next time.